Hello, my name is Anna Frazzetto, and I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Airswift. And in today's webinar, we're going to be looking at the key takeaways from the 2024 GETI Report. I'm honored to be here today with our CEO, Janette Marx. Janette has been with Airswift for 10 years, and her passion is workforce solutions and energy. So welcome, Janette.
Thank you so much, Anna. It's great to dive right into our GETI report.
Yeah, so Janette, maybe you can share a little bit about the history of the GETI Report and how this was your brainchild in 2017.
Oh, I'd love to, Anna. You know what, back in 2017, if we take ourselves back to that, there was a lot of change happening in the energy world. We were in our lower for longer phase and coming through that part, and there was a lot of change that was happening. So at Airswift, we were looking for a piece of work that captured the sentiment of the energy industry when it comes to pay, global mobility, worker sentiment versus hiring manager thoughts, all around workforce trends in the energy space. And we looked for something that captured all of that. It was hard to find. So born was the Global Energy Talent Index, where we said, along with a number of our partners who are leaders in their various sectors, we said, let's go ask the hard questions. Let's go find out what globally, is the sentiment, and let's share those results. And then on top of that, each year we decided to focus on one key workforce trend. And this year, it's all about the technology revolution. And so we're diving deep into AI's influence, tracking its adoption, and unpacking its impact on everything from job satisfaction to global mobility. So it's been really great to be able to see from the beginning of what we were looking for to now we've got trend data and trend analysis to see how it's been changing through the years. So it's great to dive into this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great evolution, and I've had the opportunity to kind of look at it over the years, and it's amazing. So today, we're going to be giving a brief overview of the transformative trends, insights, future direction of the energy sector. And also, I think it's going to be interesting to kind of tie it all together. How does it compare from where we started to where we are now? So before we get started, a message to the audience. If you have any top concerns regarding the future of the energy sector, please put it in the comment section. Like that, we can track it. And if we have time at the end, we'll get to it. So why don't we start with the first part of our webinar? I figured a great place for us to start was really taking a look at workforce dynamics and the evolution of transferable skills. So my question to you, Janette, is like with AI kind of reshaping workforce dynamics and it's creating this buzz around skills and skill development, how are changing workforce expectations shaping the energy sector?
Okay, so I'm going to start with transferable skills. And it's been a really, really interesting paradigm shift to watch over the years. So when we first started the GETI survey, the majority of hiring managers really wanted professionals with the exact experience for their sector. And so it wasn't, the train of thought was, we need the experience. We want that. That's how we're going to hire. Now, with the shortage of great talent out there and the shortage of the great skills that we need all around the world, hiring managers have really shifted. They're very open now to hiring people with the transferable skills from other sectors and then to learn their area of energy. So we have seen that come full circle, where now it doesn't matter which sector you start in, you really can take some of your skills and move into other sectors as well. And there's a lot of professionals who are open to making those moves as well. Now, to the second part of your question, the next big movement is AI. And it's clear that AI is not just transforming operational efficiencies, but also demanding a new skill set. So blending technical know-how with advanced analytical and leadership capabilities as well. So this evolution signifies really a pivotal moment in the energy transition, where the ability to adapt and upskill becomes crucial for both individual professionals, and the organizations. And it's been interesting to watch some of our industry experts and how they've commented on this. And Adrian Smith from Worley highlighted this in our report as well, as he stated that as we navigate this transition, the focus isn't solely on mastering new technologies, but equally on enhancing our problem solving, leadership, and creative capabilities. So you've got to also think about, we're not just outsourcing, we really need to stretch the skill set of that problem solving and leadership and creativity that we need from our people to really drive that.
So what's fascinating is the fact that when you take a look at some of the statistics in our report, one of the commentary was that AI could have a series of positive impacts on the sector over the next 2 years, from boosting research and development by 28% to optimizing production services and or solutions by 27%. So definitely, clearly a shift in the right direction.
Anna, you are so right with that. But the other thing that's really interesting about one of the stats in the survey is that 48% of our respondents stated that they received development opportunities, so training last year. And the interesting point to that, okay, so 48% received the training, but this will need to increase dramatically into this year and the years to follow, as 63% of this year's respondents believe that AI will increase pressure on them to study or learn new skills. So upskilling the professionals that work in the energy sector will be critical to the shifts in this industry. And as a company, I would ask, what are you doing to raise your talent up? As a professional, what are you doing to raise your hand and volunteer and make sure that you're engaging in these training programs to enhance your skills? So we need to continually learn. We need to always be students of our craft and really build that out.
Right. So Janette, I love that statistic that you just shared about 63% of the respondents believe that AI is going to put pressure on them to learn new skills. But I think it's a good pressure, because what happens is, obviously it's going to elevate organizations and it's going to elevate the talent pool, because now they can do more as opposed to being single focused on one skill set.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, okay, so now let's kind of shift our conversation a little bit towards renewable energy. So as the sector accelerates towards renewable sources like wind and solar, it's evident that renewable energy is no longer just something in the future. It's present, it's now, it's alive, it's pressure on a lot of organizations. What are the trends and challenges in the transition to renewable energy?
So let's talk about the transition. And you're right, the transition is here, as evidenced by the investment going into alternative energy sources. So Rise Data Energy a bit ago did some analysis on the investment going into clean energy and alternatives. And from 2020 to 2030, there's an 8.7% CAGR growth in the alternative energy space, and 1.2% growth for that 10-year period in traditional energies. So energy investments growing from $886 billion in 2020 to $1.34 trillion in 2023. And I think if you take a look at the IEA, and the energy field is really accelerating towards renewable sources. And they're showing an impressive nearly 50% rise in renewable projects in 2023 alone. So it's really showing a very fast growth rate over the last couple of decades. And we're setting, marking the 22nd consecutive year, setting new records for, renewable capacity in addition. So the bottom line is a good time to be in any part of energy. So energy is transitioning, but all parts of energy are needed. So it's a really good time to be in energy. And there is a growing concern for sustainability. And when we think about energy, we can think about traditional, transitioning, and sustainable energies. And we're really, as an industry, communicating and trying to commit better and tell our story better about how we're getting to sustainable. So this is a big part of our energy narrative and where we're going. And I think on the renewable side, I think one of the areas that we kind of need to dive into is that historically, if you were working in renewables, it was a historical lower paid, as you could see in the GETI report, than other energy sectors. Yet that's starting to change, and we're starting to see increases in the renewables area. So this year, 51% of the respondents report an increase. 24% report a salary rise of 5% or more compared to 20% last year. So we're starting to see salaries increase in this sector. And that, coupled with doing sustainable work for the world, will really continue to drive attractiveness to this sector, with more and more professionals wanting to come to this sector.
Well, that's fascinating too, and it'll be something to monitor to see how 2024 looks versus 2025 as we kind of progress in that area. But I think the other statistics that the report showed, a rise in overseas job transfers, right? The proportion of companies offering overseas job transfers had risen to 58% from 52% from the prior year. Any color in regards to why the shift?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot more projects going on. And when you look at, you couple the investment and where the investment's going, and then the people who want to do really good work, as they are starting to open up their minds to traveling to different countries and seeing where they can really add value and make an impact, you go to where the work is. And so we're starting to see people be very open to that, which I think is a great thing for the renewable sector. That's always been very high for the traditional oil and gas sectors. And so it's nice to start to see this kind of shift in mindset happen on the renewable side too.
Right. So what's interesting too is the impact on power professionals. That 91% of power professionals said that they would be willing to move to a new role if it was outside of the U.S., for example. So again, a positive impact all the way around. I think two great takeaways from this is the fact that the pay raises increasing, and we're seeing that trajectory taking place. The other interesting point was the fact that Europe and North America are top destinations for relocation due to the intensifying growth in clean energy focus.
Absolutely, they're good. You know what? And it's always interesting in the report to see how the top destinations change over time as well. But Europe and North America took it this time. So
right. Okay, well, this kind of moves us to our third, kind of section of the report that we wanted to focus in on. And of course, no surprise to you, it's the AI overwhelming umbrella over the GETI report. Clearly an area that's very passionate to me. So when we talk about AI's role, extends from optimizing energy usage to improving safety protocols, and its integration is pivotal for strategic decision making. This year, AI played a big role, right? How is AI enhancing efficiency and safety in energy production?
okay, so we're going to dive into that. And I think the first thing that we need to talk about with AI, which I think sometimes goes unnoticed, but since we're talking about energy, we've got to make this point that the major increase in energy demand is going to be needed is coming from AI technology. So if you think about today, 2% of our electricity demand goes into data centers, is really driven to data centers. By 2030, the stats show anywhere from 10% plus of electricity demand will come from AI data centers. This is a huge increase on demand that will need to be powered not just by one energy source, but all energy sources. So when we talk about the need for energy, the demand is going to outpace the supply of any one source coming through to it. So we're going to need all energy still. And it's how we balance that and how we really make sure that all the technical advances help us in carbon capture, help us in other areas to really reduce emissions. So within energy, if we really dive into the energy side, AI is a tool that'll accelerate our efficiencies, our productivity, from safety to production to inspection. There are a number of applications where AI has already been used to automate the energy industry, from not just back office process improvements, but to distributed power generation, There are so many great advancements that the field is really utilizing it for, and really driving innovation through. So there's a lot of optimism, I would say, in the energy sector about AI. So from the survey, 86% of respondents were positive and over half were overly optimistic. So a lot of optimism around AI coming out of our survey. So AI is seen as a game changer for efficiency and safety, especially in the power sector. So you think about electricity, you think about power, you think about where that goes. That's a huge game changer for us. It's also revolutionizing our work. So 78% expect more productivity. So 78% more productivity, and 64% of our respondents said that they saw new career avenues. So if you look at AI not as something that's going to compete or take away, but as an opportunity, 64% see new career avenues. So this marks a shift towards AI-driven innovation throughout the whole energy sector. So it's really exciting for us to be able to say, how can we really see this and really drive this and build this out even more?
Right. So, Janette, it's the taboo originally associated with AI, that it was going to take things away and it was going to, we were going to have lots of unemployed people, to now the pendulum swings. And it's nice to see how energy has really embraced AI to be able to incorporate it. It's a tool. It's a way to increase productivity, increase efficiencies. I think another interesting stat from the survey was that 74% of petrochemical respondents believe that AI will increase productivity. So it's not just, in renewables, it's pretty much across the gamut, also in the nuclear space.
Well, nuclear is a little bit opposite. So it's kind of interesting. So you're right, petrochemical, they're moving. Our respondents in nuclear, though, 61% said they do not use AI in their role today. So that was higher than any other sector. So if you're in nuclear, I would just question, are you going to be tapping into the innovation, and how are you going to be looking at that? So that was the one area that I thought was an interesting, counterpoint to the other sectors who are really diving in with it and using a lot more of it. So there's always different areas of usage depending upon what part of the energy sector that you're in. But I did see that, I would say when it comes to the survey and where it's being used the most, safety and inspection, automated workflow and collaboration, and then really the strategic forward-thinking applications of innovating in new products and new services. So that's what came out at the top of the list. But it's really, this is going to evolve. So as we do this survey again later this year and then roll it out, I see this in a constant state of change and a constant state of evolution, which I think is pretty exciting.
It is. I think the next, 12 to 24 months are going to be really uncover and unfold some fantastic new enhancements that we'll get to talk about, next year. I think one of the stats that you mentioned that's worth kind of reiterating is the fact that 78% look forward to increased productivity, right? And 64% are excited about new career opportunities. So those are two tremendous statistics when you take a look at the impact of AI. So unfortunately, we're kind of getting here to the end of our discussion. If I was to try to summarize and have a conclusion to what we've discussed so far, I think the great takeaway is the massive optimism in energy, period. Of course, AI playing a big role in that this year. And also the fact that there's new opportunities, right? That it's being viewed as an area of growth and tremendous potential. Janette, anything that you'd like to say to kind of, wrap up our discussion?
I just want to say that it is a great time to be in the energy industry. There is so much change and evolution happening right now. And for people out there that are looking for what work they want to do, or if you're in engineering or in different aspects of it, join us, join part of the energy world to help us create the change that we want to see. So be part of it, be part of the solution. And I think the more bright minds that we get into the energy world, no matter what aspect of energy you're in, everybody's working towards the same solutions. And the more great minds we have, the faster we'll get there. So join energy.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Janette. So that's all for this webinar, but join us for upcoming webinars in May and June, where we talk to some of our experts. We're going to do a little bit of a deeper dive. We're going to get a chance to talk to Ken Carview, Ian Langley, Andrew Crabtree, and many more about the key takeaways from all of the sectors that we represent: nuclear, oil and gas, power, renewables, and petrochemical. So, and how AI is helping bring that change within that industry. Thank you so much for listening, and please like and subscribe and turn notifications on so that you do get all the upcoming updates in regards to GETI. So we've only scratched the surface of what AI can do to energy. Buckle up, because the future is going to be electrifying. Until next time, goodbye.